Welcome back. In our ongoing exploration of cybersecurity and secure development, we're shifting our focus from the concept of non-repudiation, which we discussed in the previous session, to a deeper examination of authorization. In particular, we'll be focusing on the concept of permissions within this key aspect of the AAA model. So, first, let's clear up a common point of confusion. When we talk about permissions and roles, what exactly are we referring to? Well, permissions are like the rules of what actions a user or a software can perform on a specific system. For instance, a permission might allow a user to read a file or write to a file, but it might not allow them to delete that file. On the other hand, a role is like a job title. So it's a way of grouping together several related permissions into one package that can be easily assigned to a user. For example, we might have a user role that includes basic permissions like reading and writing to certain files. Then we might have an administrator role that includes all the permissions of the user role plus additional permissions to modify system settings, for example. This might sound abstract right now, but don't worry, it will become clearer when we get to our practical example later on. The key idea here is that permissions are usually grouped into roles to make them easier to manage, especially when dealing with large numbers of users. So rather than having to individually assign each permission to each user, we can assign a role to a user and they will automatically have all the permissions that go with that role. Now, let's visualize this with a practical example. A banking application. In such application, you have different roles like customers, bank clerks, and administrators. Each of these roles would need a unique set of permissions. So a customer should only be able to view and manage their own accounts. A bank clerk would need access to view and manage multiple customer accounts, and an administrator might have the ability to modify system settings but may not have permission to view or manage customer accounts for privacy reasons, for example. And this illustrates the convenience and efficiency of working with roles and permissions. It's much easier to manage access control when permissions are bundled into roles, which can be assigned to users according to their job functions. As we progress through this course, we'll delve further in the concepts of authorization. We'll be looking at important concepts and principles such as least privilege and privilege escalation, which help enhance the security of our systems. Understanding how to manage roles and permissions effectively in our applications will be a key of this learning process. It's not coming up in the immediate next section, but rest assured, we'll cover all these aspects in due course. So, see you in the next section.